Hey, what's up YouTube? This is True Hero coming at you with a discussion-based video today. There will be some games playing for your visual pleasure, but I won't be discussing them or commenting on them today. The focus will be more on the discussion, which, of course, I hope you guys will add to and continue down in the comment section. Today, I'm going to be talking about a joke that a buddy of mine and I used to make back in the day, and that's that life points in Yu-Gi-Oh! Don't matter, which we later amended to life points don't matter unless you're at 1500. Now, some of you are going to hear that and instantly give this video a thumbs down or leave me a giant rant in the comment section. Before you go on your tirade, let me explain. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a very similar game to chess in two senses. First, there's only one win condition. In Yu-Gi-Oh!, that's to lower your opponent's life points to 0. In chess, it's to corner your opponent's king, putting it in a position where it either must surrender or die. However, if you watch a game of chess, most of the opening and middle portion of the game focuses on securing control over certain areas of the board, or placing your pieces in a position where your opponents can't move as easily across the board. The win condition doesn't really begin to play a more central role in the moves that players make until much later in the game. Once pieces have been removed, control over the board has been debunked, essentially when there are less factors to be concerned with. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is very similar, especially now as we enter into such a heavily control-based meta. As we draw near to November, when ABC Dragon and Tree Toads will be running rampant, most of our focus as players will be on removing these problems and, of course, establishing some level of control over the board to prevent them from respawning on the field. It's only after we're able to clear off obstacles and establish control that we then begin to chip away at our opponent's life. Think about it like this. If life points were the central focus of the game and the central focus of all of our moves, wouldn't we all be running Chain Burn, a deck that focuses solely on lowering your opponent's life to 0? It's because control is more of a central factor of the game that players are willing to play things like Hero Lives, Solemn Warning, Solemn Strike, Judgment Dragon, cards that eliminate a significant portion of one's own life just to establish control over the board. However, of course, we can't go the entire game sacrificing our life, otherwise we'd obviously lose. Which is why my friends and I say life points don't matter until you're around 1500. We used to say 2000 because at the time, Solemn Warning, which cost 2000 to play, was the control card of all control cards. Now, however, we have Solemn Strike, and though it doesn't cover as much as Warning, it's incredibly effective, which is why many competitive players are currently running it at 3. Once your life points have reached 1500, however, all 3 of those cards instantly become dead, which not only affects your control over the board, but it also begins to affect the resources you can pull from your deck. Think about it. Let's say you haven't drawn into a Solemn Strike, and because of that, your opponent manages to hit you with 65 plus damage. Now, as you go into your deck looking for resources to help you out of your current situation, each of those strikes are now dead draws that threaten to waste your draw phase, thereby hindering your ability to pull helpful resources out of your deck. But let's spin that example in its head for a second and say you opened with 2 or even 3 Solemn Strikes. Your opponent then goes and throws out a bunch of their resources just trying to get a useful monster on the board, only to waste them all due to your set traps. Now, though you'd be sitting at 3,500 life to their 8,000, you'd be in a position to do some major damage with the other 2-3 cards that you opened with. In some decks, 3 cards is literally all you need to OTK an opponent. Heroes for life. And even if you can't OTK your opponent, utilizing those other 3 cards to set up a board that makes it harder for your opponent to recover from losing all of those resources will set you up for victory in the long run. And you'd have an extra 3,500 life points to play with to use Solemn Warning if the time ever calls for it in the future. Starting to see why life points don't really matter before 1500? The reason my buddy and I started saying this, and the reason I'm making this video now, is because we know some players in the competitive field who are hesitant to play decks like Heroes or DDD, archetypes that typically start you off at a low life point disadvantage because of the cost and the effects of central cards to the deck. The reason I'm making this video is because as we enter into a control-based meta, I hope to spark a little bit of a discussion and a little bit more interest in some of these archetypes that can be super fun to play and highly effective, even if they seem a bit more challenging because of the life point sacrifices that you'll have to make. So, if you agree with what's been said in this video, or you disagree and wish to express your own viewpoint, please continue the discussion in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are. And again, as always, please like and subscribe if you enjoy. Hey, what's up YouTube? If you've made it this far in the video, thank you for not raising your pitchforks and your torches at me. And again, if you would like to continue the conversation, please leave comments in the section below. Again, I love knowing what you guys think and your take on any discussions that we may have on here and in the future. And speaking of paying life points for cards, we have come into a play set of Cosmic Cyclone. We have that up on eBay for you guys as we speak, along with several other cards, of course, that we've mentioned in the past. So please feel free to go on eBay, check us out. I will leave a link with our current uploaded list of Yu-Gi-Oh cards on eBay, as well as a direct link for Cosmic Cyclone. If you're interested, please check us out. And once again, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.